Angel, part 2, Angel. Let's watch this one. A lot of bad priests and bishops. Okay? So, let's watch it. Let the video speak for itself. Okay, Angel, don't hide. Okay, don't hide. Okay? Okay, Angel. 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 Okay, let's watch.
St. Rose of Lima Parish in Chula Vista. There, Bertrand tried to groom another young woman using similar tactics he used on Rachel. To protect her identity, we'll use the alias Diane. From Diane's 2017 police report. Bertrand also became her spiritual director, confessor, and close personal friend. She and Bertrand read each other's journals. She said that one time Bertrand heard her confession in a car, and he told her he was not a virgin and talked about his sex life before he was a priest. She noticed the hugs would get longer. She said Bertrand encouraged her to become a nun. He would interview her dates, tell her how to kiss, and demonstrate on his hand. Bertrand reportedly bragged about his sexual misdeeds, according to one former NAC seminarian who spoke with Church Militant.
In Bertrand's first year as a priest, he came back to Rome to visit the NAC. While visiting us at the NAC, he bragged about being accused of sexual misconduct. He explicitly shared the allegations. Allegedly, a young woman was asked to bend over so that he could check her vagina to see if her menstrual period had bled through her pants.
That was Diane. She confirmed directly with Church Militant that the incident did indeed happen, and that Father Dolan knew about it. She added that Bertrand actually engaged in several lengthy sexual conversations with her, trying to find out if she was a virgin. As mentioned, Bishop McElroy, after Bertrand had already confessed to taking sexual advantage of Rachel during Mass, reinstated him to priestly ministry in 2015, sending him to St. John the Evangelist Catholic Church, the same place he would send Father Dolan and Aaron Bianco.
You're adorable. Yes, you are.
Today, Dolan is a bishop, newly installed in Phoenix, Arizona. At his installation Mass, sitting directly behind him, McElroy, and just behind him, LA Cardinal Roger Mahoney, whose archdiocese paid the largest sex abuse settlement in U.S. history, 2/3 of $1 billion, as a result of Mahoney's decades of cover-up of sexual predation. Bertrand's parish housekeeper also witnessed disturbing behavior. From a June 2017 police report. Shortly after Bertrand arrived, the housekeeper noticed the sheets on Bertrand's bed were covered in semen stains. She offered to purchase new sheets for Bertrand, but he refused. Bertrand did nothing to hide the sheets from her. She reports that during the December 2013 Knights of Columbus event, as she was helping to unplug a toilet in the men's room, a male parishioner took photos of her from behind while she was bent over and sent them to Jacob Bertrand. He never told her. She endured 6 months of sexual harassment and gossip, including from Bertrand, and reported him to the diocese. While packing up his room in December 2014, she came across 3 or 4 leather-bound journals. Paging through the books to learn what they were, she discovered several written confessions with the names of teenagers on them. In 2015, she wrote her final letter to Bertrand, airing her grievances against him, including, "Women leaving your residence in the early morning hours. I know and have seen things that no one else has. As you step up on the altar to participate in Father's Day Mass, you will remind me of how hypocritical you are. You make a mockery of the priesthood." The housekeeper spoke with Church Militant, confirming all the details. But she wasn't the only witness of bad behavior. A woman who spoke with us relayed the details of her friend's confession to Bertrand.
In February of 2011, my friend asked to go to confession with Father Jacob Bertrand at St. Rose of Lima in Chula Vista. At the time, my friend was in high school and was secretly wrestling with his sexual orientation. Father Jacob took him to the sacristy and ordered him to get down on his knees while this sick priest stood over him. This teenage boy was forced to confess his sins directly in front of Father Jacob Bertrand's crotch. Then Father Jacob put his hands over my kneeling friend's head in order to absolve him. My friend recalls that this experience of absolution was very suggestive of oral sex.
In 2016, frustrated by the diocese's inaction, learning that Bertrand was still victimizing others, Rachel finally went to the police in Minnesota. It quickly led to the launch of a criminal prosecution.
Well, a San Diego priest is facing sexual conduct charges here in Minnesota. He's accused of having sexual conduct with a woman during a private mass.
But even then, knowing Bertrand was guilty, McElroy conducted a campaign of dissimulation, refusing to disclose Bertrand's admission of misconduct, stonewalling the investigator from the prosecutor's office, and refusing to cooperate with law enforcement, all in an effort to conceal the satanic priest's crimes.
When she filed, went to the authorities, they contacted the Diocese of San Diego that refused to turn over documents regarding Bertrand.
Gene Gomulka, a former Navy chaplain who now devotes his time to victim advocacy, spoke to Church Militant about McElroy's cover-up.
They obviously recognized that by allowing him as a sexual predator who raped Rachel to have left him in ministry perhaps would open them up to charges of criminal omission.
From a 2018 Wall Street Journal article, the Diocese of San Diego refused to turn over key files. The attorney for the San Diego Diocese originally told us that they had no file related to an investigation involving Jacob Bertrand's alleged sexual acts with the victim in our case, which we later learned was false, and initially told the attorney from our office handling this prosecution that even if a file existed, they would not provide it.
I remember Chad, the criminal investigator, calling me and saying, "Who do these people think they are? They're refusing to work with me, and all they're doing is stonewalling me. All they're doing is completely reject. They're not letting me, investigate any of this. Why?"
I think all sides need to be careful.
Bertrand also hired a defense attorney, Krista Groshek, who smeared Rachel as a liar.
They're fanciful. These are false allegations. They're suspect. The woman behind them, as a motive, our investigation has revealed the truth behind it. Father Bertrand is a young, reputable priest. He's worked in large parishes in Southern California.
And Bertrand sent a private investigator, Marie Little, to harass and intimidate Rachel at her home. Turns out, Little has a criminal record, busted in 2015 after evidence she smuggled drugs to her love interest in prison, gang member Terrell Bell, serving 18 years for murder. The prosecution dragged on until 2018. Just as Rachel was packing her bags to travel back to Minnesota for the start of criminal trial, she received a call from the prosecutor's office.
And Heather Pipenhagen calls me and says, "Callahan just called, and he admitted that Bertrand admitted guilt all the way back in 2014. Callahan just threw him under the bus right at the last minute." And Heather Pipenhagen could not believe what she was hearing, that he just threw him in the towel, threw him under the bus at the last minute, and we had an admission of guilt. This was, basically, it was a slam dunk.
That admission of guilt resulted in a plea bargain, with Bertrand agreeing to plead guilty to criminal sexual conduct in exchange for avoiding jail time, instead getting supervised probation for 10 years. Among the conditions, do not engage in spiritual advice or counseling. You cannot be alone with any females in any organizational settings for whom you have supervisory authority.
McElroy was complicit in covering for the man who raped me within this context of the holy sacrifice of the Mass. This is egregious. It's horrible. And it begs the question, what are you hiding?
Today, Bertrand is no longer a priest. He's married with children and running Metropolitan Realty in San Diego. He's also reportedly active at The Rock Church, an evangelical megachurch. Although convicted of a sex crime, he's not named in the San Diego diocesan list of credibly accused priests. Why? Because he didn't abuse a minor. McElroy also continues to deny wrongdoing with the help of the LA Archdiocese. One layman recently wrote to Archbishop Jose Gomez asking that he launch a formal investigation into McElroy's cover-up of the ritual abuse. Instead, he got this email from lay staffer Dr. Heather Banis. I learned that the matter you referenced was investigated and addressed, such that Jacob Bertrand was laicized. Bishop McElroy participated in that process and fully discharged his responsibilities in the matter. Church militant contacted Bishop McElroy, asking him specifically why he reinstated Bertrand to priestly ministry after knowing he was guilty of abusing Rachel during Mass. His spokesman, Kevin Eckery, evaded the question, simply writing, Jacob Bertrand was removed from ministry by the diocese and later laicized. We played no role and did not assist in his criminal defense. Beyond that, there is little more I can say. In spite of the darkness that engulfed Rachel's life for years as a result of this satanic priest and his protectors, her story has a happy ending.
It was the most, my husband was in the room just sobbing. It was something that you can't, there's no movie, there's nothing that can even explain what that was until you witness someone who was in the grips of such evil, and for them to experience a total liberation. It was a moment from heaven. It was a heavenly moment.
On the Solemnity of the Assumption 2020, during the final deliverance prayer session with her exorcist, after hours of what Rachel describes as excruciating demonic combat, Our Lady appeared and crushed the head of the serpent.
She crushed Satan, and I could feel her heel crushing my head. It wasn't me, but it was the enemy, which was afflicting me, that the exorcist brought forth and forced to manifest. The moment that Our Lady, her heel crushed him, is one of the most victorious moments of my whole life. And now I live to tell of Mary. Now I consider everything going on in the church. Like the church is being diabolically, some would even say possessed. There's like a diabolical, something really evil going on in the bride of Christ. And I believe that Our Lady, her heart will triumph, and the bride of Christ will be restored.
Christine Niles, Church Militant, Detroit.
Angel, you like the video, Angel? Bad bishops and bad priests, huh? Okay, let's watch it again, okay? Okay, smile, okay? Okay, let's watch it. Okay, bye-bye now. Bye.